Also moved.
Motion by Gorman,
I'll second.
second by Kaiser. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 5, approval of the minutes from the regular school board meeting, July 21st, 2026. I will motion by Bauer,
I'll second.
second by Zebro. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I abstain.
Oh, one abstention.
So who's the second, I'm sorry?
Here, you got it. At me.
Zebro,
Okay.
and then Maple abstain.
And I think Joe wants to abstain also.
Joel abstain as well.
Okay, thank you. Item 6, there is no student board report coming, but I do want to say something. We toured the building, I want to thank everybody for all the things they've done. Steve, Greg, all the people, it's been wonderful. I also want to ask that you give us your patience. It's not going to be perfect. The phones may not all work right away. The clocks, we're working through the bugs of what goes on. It looks beautiful. So, and I even asked Lori if you could pass that on to the teachers. It's going to be 3 weeks of school. It's going to be an up and down roller coaster. As Greg and I talked, the superintendent always likes the summer after the referendum, not the one that it was being built in. It's been a lot of issues, and we probably will have a few more issues, but please bear with everybody. We're gonna have to do some things, and some things are gonna have to get fixed, and it's like moving into a new house. So I ask everybody to kind of show your patience and don't go crazy, and when you're stressful, go out for a walk and come back.
For
Okay?
what it's worth, the feedback from the football team is the locker room is
Oh, it's awesome.
quite impressed with it.
Yeah.
The boys were.
Well, and they're back in it, and the smell's back.
Does it smell any better?
Well, it did on day one.
If you want to see,
They're in there 5 days
I mean,
now,
there's
I
a
bet it
lot of
doesn't.
things that I need to get going because I'm on a time limit here. But one thing is the new storage facility we have that Greg secured from UW-Madison is just phenomenal. It just saves us so much time and space, and you really take a look at it, it's incredible, and that was an awesome job. I appreciate that. Okay, item 7, special presentation, Act 20 update.
All right, so annually, we just want to share the data of our progress as it pertains to Act 20 compliance and our students' early literacy growth. As a reminder, Act 20 put into practice some very specific actions districts must take when students are screening at below a benchmark on their early literacy screeners. The screener that we use is AIMSweb, that was dictated by the state as part of that rollout process. And so just kind of a reminder of that timeline of what that looks like. Our students screen in the fall, so that screening takes place the second full week of school. So this year will start September 14th. It takes about 2 weeks for us to get all the way through K3. From there, if a student scores below a benchmark on sub-scores that indicate high risk, our reading specialists take them and do a deeper dive into a diagnostic assessment to assess where that risk lies in their reading ability, which then potentially prompts that reading plan activation. When that reading plan happens, our teachers and our reading interventionists select very specific interventions that target that deficiency, what the progress monitoring tool will be, and those students are on intense intervention and monitoring as we work to improve their reading. That pull-out targeted instruction happens from our title reading specialist teachers and instruction. So that continues to happen. They continue to get monitored. A student can get off of a PRP if 3 consecutive progress monitorings continue above a trend line and they screen above benchmark the next time, or in 3rd grade score at grade level for reading. So the criteria to get out of a PRP is pretty significant. So our early readers are under pretty intense watch and interventions if they're struggling and are not released until they meet that threshold. Here is our numbers that Kathy was able to throw together for us to make sure that we understood how we were going. A reminder that when we look at different grade levels, and I'm gonna go to this one because I think it is the easiest to read along with 5. When we look at our total active PRPs, remember that outside of kindergarten, that would include rollovers who didn't exit the year before, as well as potentially new PRPs. So when we see a higher number in later grades, it's not just new qualifications for a PRP. If a student doesn't test out by kindergarten, they carry that PRP with them moving into next year. So when we look at this, if it comes in, you can see that she has it broken apart from new PRPs started versus the ones that rolled over at each grade level. So kindergarten, obviously it's gonna be an equal match because that's the first year they're screened and eligible for a PRP. And then she also included our exit rate percentage of students we're getting out by year end versus students who are on one. A few additional updates of things we've done to bolster our early literacy program. We applied with a program called Reading Corps, which provides free to district reading tutors who are trained in early reading interventions. And we qualified for a 1.5 tutor, so we'll have one full-time and one half-time reading tutor coming in at no cost to the district daily to work with students on reading interventions. Those tutors are going to be targeting our tier 2 level kids who are of moderate risk. They're not our students of high risk with really high intervention needs. That's what our reading teachers are gonna do. But this allows us to access about 40 additional students into intervention without increasing staff in our district. And then we were just informed by DPI that our grant was accepted for the early literacy coach. So we have a fully funded position for 2 years to help us create more consistency from class to class in our literacy instruction, as well as help us with our intervention application system to make sure we're identifying students correctly, we're reading data correctly, we're maximizing our interventions time, and that hopefully we increase that exit progress rate as we move forward.
Tom, just a question on this coach.
Yep.
And for the 2 years, are they gonna also be working with staff? So when that 2 years is done,
Yep.
this position, if we cannot afford it,
Yep.
will be able to still be carried on?
Yep, so the very specific criteria of the grant is that they are building the capacity of staff. So they will be required to lead professional development on our in-service days. They will be required to lead professional development in our staff meetings. They're going to be going through coaching cycles directly with our teachers, watching, observing, giving feedback on literacy practices in their classroom. We're hoping that they co-teach and model lessons for some of our new staff to help onboard them faster. So yes, that coach will be working directly with staff. So hopefully if this goes well over the next 2 years, the impact of that coach lasts beyond this grant's life.
And we're also hoping that as we go through the budget process, the state will continue to fund this position. And the state funded position that was in the state budget as part of Act 20. So we're hoping that funding will continue into the next biennium.
Have we received more funding from the state with Act 20?
No.
Not outside of that grant.
I know some people have issues with Act 20, I have some too, but I really like the fact that we're really concentrating on those kids that are struggling. And obviously I think it's good for kids that we're doing that and finding as much appropriate help as we can get them. Because we know reading's important and we know that we've got to probably do a better job with it. So compliments to all the people in Act 20 and all the teachers and everybody that's been trying to identify and help these students.
Is there a demographic that you can compare our percentage of students to other districts?
I have not seen that, but we do have to, from a compliance standpoint, enter our data in at the end of each year to DPI, so I wonder if eventually it's coming. They have the district data, I have not seen a dashboard where they've released it.
Mhm.
How long are the tutors, for 1 year or?
So, that is a government program, so it's as long as the nonprofit we work with continues to be funded. They're showing really, really great results. So they've just been approved for another 3-year cycle, but they have to get approval for their grant cycle every 3 years. But the data that they've shown, they actually just increased their program and now have a math program. It's not expanding to the point where we could apply for that, but the data they're showing with their trained interventionists coming in to help schools and the growth that those schools are seeing is pretty positive. So they are confident, but you can't promise anything in the grant world.
Tom, thanks for your leadership and thanks for identifying the kids that need help. I think this will move us in the right direction. Anything else? Thank you very much. Okay, item 8, public forum. The public forum provides the public with an opportunity to ask questions or address issues included on the school board agenda or not. Do we have anybody that wants to speak?
I did not put out the clipboard, but is
That
there anyone?
that would definitely discourage somebody from possibly speaking.
I used the paper last week and I forgot to print a new one.
Chris, do you want to say something? Dan, do you want to say something?
This isn't the time.
You're gonna just bushwhack me all at one time, huh? All right, thank you.
I just wanted to touch base on one thing. During the personnel committee meeting, we had Jenny Tomer come in from Hanson Auction
Yep.
and made us, and presented us with a donation to help offset school supplies for needy kids. So I just
That was
wanted
awesome.
to make sure we recognize that. She popped in during the personnel committee meeting, so the full board wasn't here to see it, but those of us in the personnel committee were able to see it, so I just want everybody to know that.
We have a lot of wonderful people in our community that are very giving and serve others. It was a wonderful donation. She was my neighbor. I used to snow blow her driveway, so I think I might add something to do with it. No, I didn't. Okay, anybody else, public, anything? Okay, item 9, consent agenda. Anything that needed to be pulled out? Nothing from personnel, numbers that, okay? With that, I'll seek a motion.
Also move.
Motion by Gorman,
I'll second.
second by Ness. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 10.
Paul, I abstain.
Oh. You abstained from?
I abstained from the consent agenda.
Okay, yeah, that's right, I'm sorry. I passed that on. We have one abstention. Item 10, discussing possible decision approval of monthly voucher list.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll
We have a
second.
motion by Ness, second by Gorman. Any discussion? Anybody need to abstain from anything? Okay, roll call vote, please. Sorry, I'll slow down. I got these two guys pushing me with the brooms. And Dave's giving me looks.
That's just my face.
Okay.
This week it just isn't working very well, so. Let's go with your paper. Paul?
Yes.
All right. Bauer?
Yes.
Nest?
Yes.
Naylor?
Yes.
Zebro?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Kaiser?
Yes.
Maple?
Yes.
Stankowski?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 11, discussion possible decision acceptance of monthly treasurer's report.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Nest,
I'll second.
second by Gorman. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Pardon me, roll call vote.
Bauer?
Yes.
Nest?
Yes.
Naylor?
Yes.
Zebro?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Maple,
Yes.
Stankowski,
Yes.
Kavitsky.
Yes. Motion carries. Item 12, new business. Discussion, district technology usage plan.
So as I put in there, Tom and Christy and I have been working on this over the past month or so. You know, I think we all three can agree between preparing for in-service and construction and IT rewiring, cabling, PA systems and clocks and everything else, Wi-Fi. It's been a busy summer, so we probably aren't as far along on this as what we had hoped we would be. But I just want you to know we're working on it. So what you have is a very rough draft. The other thing I will tell you is we are not graphic artists, so once we get into a final form, we will turn it over to Heather Bartnick to make it look nice, instead of chicken scratched, without any real good formatting in it. But that was kind of the summary that we had of some of the conversations we had at the last time we had this conversation. This is not up for approval tonight, so it's just a discussion item. So that's my intro.
I want to make sure everybody's aware that there is some things about AI that you need to start looking at in here, and I would really read through it. So if you want to give input, maybe not tonight, but in the future, to contact them to make sure that, hey, I have a question about this, because we
And
know.
I'll also tell you too, I'm sorry to interrupt, Paul. I was working on board policy update before I came here tonight, and there's a whole section on AI in there, so I haven't even had a chance to go back and compare any potential policy changes to this. I mean, I already know that some of the definitions in here are changed based on how the change of the policy reflects, so I have to go back in and update that. But that policy update will be coming to you, a fairly substantial policy update will be coming next month for the first reading or update.
One second, please.
Yep.
One of the things we discussed is that AI is such an important thing that it's gotta kind of be an all-board discussion on a regular basis. Go ahead.
Would you say once you have this finalized, that this will be more of policy or guidelines, or what would you consider this?
Well, I mean, I think, Calandra, my recommendation to the board would be, I guess I would equate it to like a student handbook. You know, as things change and evolve, we might bring it forward for updates. You know, I mean, this is an ever-changing situation. It's kind of like we hope our strategic plan is gonna be a living, breathing document, not a stagnant once and then you throw it on the shelf until the next time you have to look at it, is how I would describe it. So I don't know if you wanna call it policy guidelines or what, but you know, this is not something that, so I guess I would not call it guidelines, because guidelines administration has the freedom and flexibility to adjust. I would equate it to a student handbook, or an employee handbook kind of a concept. You know, if there's subtle changes in it, I think it can go through the instructional programs committee, but if we're doing anything and then that committee can decide if they wanna bring it to the full board. Since kind of that's where a lot of this lives, is the instructional world. But if there's anything substantial, we would bring it to the full board.
So
I would-
currently, 4K is not any screen time, correct?
What was that, Diane?
4K has no screen time, if I'm reading this correctly.
They don't have accounts yet.
Okay, so that's one question, then two, I mean, you see this all over in the news. I mean, everybody's watching screen time trying to take away, I mean, kids need to go back to paper, pencil, learn how to write. I mean, again, AI is tied into all this. I mean, have we ever looked at maybe, if they're not doing it 4K, maybe not doing it in kindergarten and slowly bringing this back? I mean, I worry, cause there's some parents that have no idea their kids are on screens. And I mean, having a 4-year-old grandson, the minute he sees his tablet, I lose him, you know, and this is a toy to some of these kids. So, I mean, that's one of the input I would like to see, is trying not to introduce it at such an early age. As a discussion item.
I think you have some merit there in the sense that we need to set guidelines, and then we need to let our educational professionals do it, and we also need to make sure parents are aware of it and may opt out of it.
Exactly.
And they may not want that at that age, but I also think moderation is the key. I don't think we can get rid of computers And I don't think we can just go back to paper and pencil.
Well, no, that's not part of the reason,
No,
but
I know.
you know, the presentation we were given by Liftoff, you know, the two ladies that were here, yeah, they wanna introduce it, cause it is hard to gain the attention of a child, but now you're gonna give them a toy. Imagine 15, 16 kids in a classroom and trying to get that away from them. So I'm just wondering, you know, how are we introducing it? Are parents well aware of how this is being introduced for screen time?
We had talked about this last time, that at some point we need to do a better job of informing and educating our parents of their
Yes,
options and what
yes.
we're doing, so they can get involved, rather than just throwing a computer in front of them. And I think right now, I trust what our administration's doing and what our teachers are doing. They're the trained professionals. I think we've gotta keep an eye on what the box is. We've gotta make sure that it's not too far and let them make the decision, because Greg, correct me if I'm mistaken here, but there's some tests that are administered that they have to be on computers.
Right.
And
Well,
that's
that's state testing.
mandated by the state.
Right.
So we need to be careful of what we're saying, because I remember last time we talked about this, 5 or 6 hours of their screen time was actually taking tests.
Well, you know, what I wanna do here, before we get too far away, is I wanna give Tom, and Christie a chance to weigh in on kindergarten usage to your level, but I will tell you, in my lengthy time now, you used to teach keyboarding, well, when I was in school, you taught it as a freshman, then you started teaching it as middle school. Now you need to teach it in elementary school, because all the state tests are done on the computer, and the last thing you want is your kids to get a bad test score because they can't type. So it's a progressionary aspect that's forced that skill to be moved down younger and younger, because of just the way that the state and the federal government choose to test you. But Tom, do you wanna talk a little bit about how it's used in kindergarten? It's not consistent across the class, with all 6 grades.
I think one of the things we gotta talk about is what is screen time? Cause in my opinion, when they're, I mean, like our U-Fly reading program, they all sit in front of a smart board. To me, that's screen time,
Right.
right? There's times at the end of the day, they'll use an educational video for the kids to watch in front of the smart board. That's screen time. Their time on an individual device is pretty limited. But if you were to add in the time that they use for U-Fly on the smart board, or even math there's gonna be some math lessons as whole groups in front of the smart board, that's still screen time too.
Sure.
But I view that differently than
Personal.
I'm on a personal device and I'm, you know, playing a game or something. That's doesn't happen at all.
Okay.
So, you know, if we say no screen time, well, does that mean no smart board at all? I mean, and I would have a problem with that. I definitely think we limit what they use for personal device, you know, in terms of Chromebooks, but that's kind of my take. They're pretty limited there though, unless you count the smart board time, well then that
Right.
adds more time.
Calandra?
Yeah, I think it's important to distinguish that, cause there is a big difference, I think. I know it's hard because there's not a lot of people doing this yet. I think people will start to do it, but, I think it's a good start. It at least is gonna make sure that, you know, classrooms are intentional about how they're using it, having something, you know.
And I think we're also, the discussions we're having, I think obviously trickle down to staff. That these are the concerns people have, and I'm pretty confident they are. And letting the professionals do it, I mean, we need to be aware of it, we need to set guidelines, but again, you know, like a lot of people don't understand what Tom's talking about, that they will watch a video, you know, and that happens.
I just don't wanna ever see us start to introduce this and it turns into like the cell phone.
I agree.
So I don't wanna put it, we're so far ahead and now we gotta try to backtrack.
But one of the best things this school district did and the state did is removing cell phones
Yes.
from school.
Yes.
And I think much like in society, we have a tendency to go overboard and then we pull back. And you're seeing the pullback now, where they're finding out that, hey, do not just put kids in front of computers. it is not great for them. Just don't let them sit on their cell phones.
I'd like to see, once we have a finalized draft, to have a full board discussion with it, and
Yeah.
then, you know, after that, then
Much like AI, this is a hot topic. We should be talking about this every board meeting.
Well, I think there's also, back to your original question, Calandra, I think this is the ever-evolving situation, so this is gonna be something that's gonna have to be semi-fluid, for lack of a better term, that this is gonna evolve as things change, cause, you know, I got a AI policy special update that had 17 different policies I had to update just because of changes in that realm. So just to give you an idea of the impact, so whatever document it is that we create, you know, if we start putting on there adopted and then, you know, I don't
Well,
wanna
I'm
say
saying
fixed,
once we have
but
the
yeah.
first draft.
Right, no, but I'm
The
just saying,
first-
like,
yeah.
back to your original question,
Yeah.
like, this thing's gonna evolve and change
Absolutely.
fairly frequently, I would say, at least in the first few years,
Yeah.
until people get a better handle on it. Kinda like similar to the internet, you know?
Where are we with the parent discussion about, you know, we have a lot of parents that have technology issues and a lot of things. Where are we at? How are we planning to help them, assist them, and educate them on what's kind of going on in our district?
I have a plan for that.
Okay, awesome.
I can update you later.
I get it.
I got a couple comments, questions, clarification, if I may.
Yeah.
Number one, as Calandra said, I think there's a lot of great stuff in there. And I'm glad to see us where we are. Compared to 6 months ago, you know, we were flying by the seat of our pants. I would like to clarify here a little bit, because in the agenda, it says any changes go through the instruction committee.
Right, and as I said, I think if you have any small changes, and this is just my suggestions, this
Oh,
is no.
that's yours?
Yeah, the briefing notes are mine, that's just my thoughts. The board has the final say in this, but when we do policy, there's technical corrections and there's board policy changes. If we're talking technical corrections where we might change the definition of something, you know, the committee always has the right to pull it out of the consent agenda as well. But if we're talking about something deemed substantial, like we're changing suggested minutes or something along those lines, then that would rise to the level of a full board conversation.
As Paul said, and I agree with totally, this is a big thing that the entire board needs to have a chance to.
For certain items.
For certain items,
Is
whatever.
you have a
And,
question?
I got another comment, you know, that might pertain to the parents, you know, getting the parents on board. You know, if you read through this, would sound like everything's fine with AI, there's no risks. However, there are things in here that are aimed at addressing risks. Perhaps in a mission statement or somewhere, admit that there are risks. Cause I think the parents, if we said, hey, we know there's risks, there's huge potential, both good and bad, we're gonna try and minimize it. And that's at the top of our agenda for tech and AI. I think that would, I think parents will look at that and say, hey, they're listening to us. And we need the parents on board, as Paul asked Craig about, which I totally agree.
And you can come back with that plan sometime, Jules.
And I got another comment, if someone on the board wanted to participate more in the, what's going on, Craig, talk to you, or we not allowed to?
As far as,
Well, I mean, you said you, Tom, and Christie have been doing this. Are there regular meetings that?
no, well, we presented a framework of a possible one at that June special meeting.
Yeah. I know.
And then from that feedback, we then took it and created and brought it forward. So no, do we have regular meetings? No, it's a Google Doc and we all kind of go back and forth, but, you know, there's plenty of opportunity. If you guys want input on it, by all means, let us know. I mean, it's not like, you know, but we have not had the time this summer to probably get all three of us in the same room together
Yeah.
very often, if any, and usually it's
Well, then.
construction related.
Then what you got here is really accomplishment.
Yeah.
Any
I'll
more?
talk to you.
And to be honest with you, Joe, a lot of what's in here is stuff that we've taken from La Crosse. Sun Prairie has a pretty substantial one in there. Was it Des Moines Public Schools has a fairly substantial one that we took some stuff from. We took some stuff from NTC's. So we took some stuff from different places that, no sense reinventing the wheel, you know? So we took
I
language
understand.
from, and frameworks and laying it out from all these different entities, you know, I mean, you know, I probably had a stack of papers a half-inch thick on my desk, going through all these and circling and crossing out and jotting notes, and I like this one and I like that one, and gone from there.
How about, I didn't hear you mention, local businesses. Like I know someone from Green Neck that would love to have a little input here. He's got kids in the school district. Not saying that anything he's gonna tell us would be helpful, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll-
Jessica?
So what I am wondering is if we have been exploring at all, like the kids chat GPT or things like that, that we could work to implement so that it's just not completely open AI with no guardrails.
We don't have open AI with.
right,
Okay, so you have securely,
Yep.
but they can just, trying to teach them from a young age to use AI very appropriately, meaning that this is not a person on the other end that's responding to you. So doing those types of things, but then additionally, trying to teach the kids that maybe there's guardrails to some degree in school, but then helping them to practice that so that when they're out and about, and if a girl is asking ChatGPT, am I ugly, am I pretty, am I this or am I that? Mental health is through the roof right now, and far too many young children are taking their lives. And so I just wanna make sure that we are trying to exercise, explore, do everything we possibly can to help them understand that it's not a human on the other side, that it is just a computer responding to you, and to not take it literally. But also making sure that we have that communication with the parents. So even if we have securely, it would be good to help them practice the kids' AI, the 13 to 18-year-olds, so that when they're out and about, there's still some form of guardrails and mom and dad can get those answers. It's just helping to tie everything together.
Yes, that makes sense. Like, if I hear what Calandra and you were saying, it's really not about the screen time limit. It's about when you do go on the screens, being very intentional, and the kids are actively doing something and learning. They're there for a purpose, they're not passively.
and couple that with digital citizenship,
Yes.
which is correct, which
Yeah,
is what
fix
you're
your
talking
goals
about
on
is digital citizenship, which is a component of what we have to do. Now, digital citizenship has taken on new forms in the last year because of AI, where before it was, you know, be careful with Snapchat, with sexting, be careful with, you know, where you go on the website. Now, that's constantly getting updated now to impact a lot of what you're talking about. So that is an area that is part of this conversation we have to dig into further is our digital citizenship and making sure we're adding the AI component to it.
Yeah, ethics and morals are very important.
Is
Any,
there-
go ahead.
Is there an option for parents to opt out of their kids even having a Chromebook? I mean, it probably gets complicated, I would think, but.
There probably should be.
There is.
And again, we probably need to educate our parents about everything that's going on.
I'm glad to hear
Any more
that. I
discussion?
know that's not easy.
Yeah,
You can invite them, like Greg said, and they don't come, but
still gonna try. There's other ways to do it too. Anybody, anything else? Any more discussions? Okay. Item B, discussion, possible decision, community fitness center regulations.
So I asked Kurt to do work on some of this, and Kelly. Kelly is EAD, and Kurt is somebody who has some experience in the fitness center world, to try to oversee this area as everything else was going on. You know, so the fitness center equipment is being installed pretty much as we speak right now. And when I came down here, they were still working. So they're in the process of installing all the equipment this week. What we put together is some fitness center guidelines and regulations, mainly centered around community use. Because we've talked about, we want to open this up to the community. And we can talk about it in there, but the one request I do have is if we cannot really do any community-related hours until like the 1st of October. And the reason I asked for that is we have to get the building finished. We have to make sure the equipment runs. I mean, there's a lot going on right now. It's going to be an extremely busy next 3 or 4 weeks with getting everything buttoned up, getting everything moved back, getting the school year started, getting the ribbon cutting done. That it would be nice to be able to at least put this on the back burner for a couple of weeks until we get the other stuff finished. Because you know, I look over there and I know they're all like me, that sleep is short right now because there's about 1 million things racing through your head right now as you're thinking of everything that.
Or do you need it longer?
No, I mean, I don't want to kick this out too long. I want to give these people the opportunities. No, I think if by then.
It's 6 weeks.
Yeah, that'll give us enough time to at least breathe, and, because we also want to figure out how the kids are gonna utilize the space, because the old fitness center, I don't know if you're familiar with the building, but the old fitness center is like 2.5 blocks from here.
Right.
It's at the elementary school, down by the old middle school gym, which is still in the same building, but if you look at it on the outside, it's a 2.5 block walk to get there, so now we're right outside the gym door. So we're in a much more prevalent space, so it just gives us a chance to figure out how we're gonna use it, it gives our coaches a chance to settle in, and then we're gonna look at developing community hours from there, but we are proposing a morning, and an afternoon, evening, kind of a time slot, for community hours, and then as it goes, we can look to expand from there after we see how it goes, see community usage, see if they request things like that, but I would prefer, to your point earlier, I would prefer we go in and expand it than have expanded and have to pull back. Is my preference.
I totally agree with you, and I like the fact that it's secure. Somebody from the community cannot get into our building. And there's bathrooms there, and many years ago, when we first opened the fitness, we had probably 35 to 50 community members using it. Then COVID hit and changed things, and we need to do a really good PR promotion of this, so they know they can park there, they can walk in.
Well,
there's lockers for them, there's bathrooms, and we'll get there eventually.
There's an increased request to when Planet Fitness moved from Cedar
Yes.
Creek to the Wausau up by Festival Foods. So there's, a lot of people that lived in this part of town and up now know we're as close this way as they are that way, so.
Well, there was a time, I think, when we first opened downstairs as well, that we actually had, I don't know if it was the Spires or Marshville Clinic, come in for people who need a PT, and we're
Okay.
working with us. And I don't know if that's something we can explore again, since they're right around and,
But we had actually elderly weightlifting
Right,
classes
yes,
that I think we need to
yes.
bring back.
We still
Right.
have those.
We still have them, but
Okay.
we just need to do a really better job of, they're not gonna be on social media. We've gotta get this out in the link, advertise, talk about it at football, all these stuff, just to encourage people to come out. We really need our community to use it, I think a lot of people will. But I like Greg's idea. I also remember there'll be a supervisor there all the time. We are limiting, if you're in grade 6 to 8, a parent has to come with you, or you're in a sporting group, a coach is there. There's an adult there supervising you, rather than just letting you become a babysitting service and possibly have somebody get injured.
Is there a fee to use it?
Nope, no fee.
I know a lot of people that.
We want them to. Their tax dollars are paying for this, and we want them to use it.
that's the.
With restrictions, we want to abide by rules, and I've read through this, I think it's a really good thing. It's very spelled out.
I think the other thing that I want the community to also is if the hours were to expand during the school day, there are still times where we have Phi Ed classes that have weightlifting, and our kids would take the priority during that school day. And people, if they wanna come and lift, need to understand, you might be in there with 30 kids.
Well, it's just like.
Like, If it bothers you, don't come then. If it doesn't bother you, then
Well,
knock yourself out.
You run into any issue having public in there when kids are in there?
No, cause you'd have the FIAD teacher in there with them.
Yeah, we didn't-
But
we never-
right now, we aren't gonna have daytime hours.
Nope.
That would be something we could look to expand to once we get a better feel for how
The
this.
only reason I ask that is because just because they live in the community doesn't mean they're somebody that we necessarily want by the students. I don't know how to put
That's-
that
we-
delicately.
Right.
We have a supervisor there that is going to have to regulate them.
But it's much like the pool. I mean, they have pool time at certain times. I
Mhm.
think the community is used to that, kind of schedule, and I think they would be grateful if they had the evening and
This is
morning.
going to be a state-of-the-art facility that I think most people that wanna do fitness and work out are gonna enjoy.
I know they have to sign in probably, but they don't
Yep.
go through the same procedure that they do going into the
Well,
regular school.
right, well, right now, this is
For, like,
outside
the
hours.
Raptor and everything.
Right, this would be outside hours right now. If we did decide to do it during school hours, then it would be Raptor, but part of this as well is they have to sign a waiver and go through what I would call maybe like a mini training session. Like, you don't wanna turn a bunch of people into a fitness center that don't know how to properly use the equipment and use it safely. Like, there's inherent risk when you go use weight equipment, that we wanna make sure people understand the risk and understand how to properly use it.
It almost seems like there should be that class you have to attend so many times before you can actually use the equipment. The administration will figure that out.
So we recommend approval of it so we can continue with the process.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion by Gorman to approve
I'll
the
second
community
that.
fitness center regulations, second by Kaiser. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Item C, discussion, possible decision, endorsement of booster clubs.
This is the annual Booster Club endorsement meeting. So Jackie sent the letters out and
I'll
you
make
see
the
the
motion
ones that
to
have been
approve.
returned.
We have a motion to approve the booster club endorsement, second by Bowen. Any discussion?
No, it's great.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D, discussion possible decision, clubs and groups seeking free waiver status.
Ditto from what I just said for the last one.
I'll
This
make
is
a motion
the
to
annual
approve.
usage thing.
I'll second
Motion
that.
by Gorman,
I'll
second by Kaiser. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Item E, discussion possible decision, annual meeting agenda.
Put the annual meeting agenda in there. It's the exact same agenda that's probably been used by this district for the last 20-some years. It's the same agenda that we've used in my tenure here. I think I copied the one the year before I was here to create the one, so it's probably been around for a while.
Will we have to have that meeting in this room?
No, we set the motion that it was gonna be somewhere in the high school.
Gotcha, thank you.
I'll make the motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve the annual meeting agenda 26 by Gorman,
I'll second.
second by Zebro. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Item F, discussion possible decision 26-27 proposed school district budget.
And I'm gonna turn it over to Morgan for her first trip through this.
It's a little scary up here.
Oh, it is not scary.
So here to talk about the budget. So this is your second look at the preliminary budget. Brad had presented the first one in June. So I took what he had and made, adjustments as things progressed through the month of July. Proposing a somewhat balanced budget as of right now. Things we do know right now were the wage increases, the health insurance benefits, dental, WRS, busing, business insurance. So those are all things that we pretty much have set in stone that we know about. Expecting to receive a little more in sped categorical aid this coming year, from about 38% to 40%, so that will help. Mosinee is still in a declining enrollment state, and you probably will be for several years. I looked it up, and this incoming fifth grade class is your largest class at about 150 kids.
I think our analysis, we looked at it was what, first or second grade is where it starts to stabilize around the 120 number.
Yeah, so, like lots of other districts in the state, you're just running through that cycle. Open enrollment is still in the positive. You have about 18 more kids coming in, than going out, so that's good for the budget. revenue limit authority is projected to go up about 57,000. State aid unfortunately is projected to decrease about 584,000.
Can you say that again?
State aid to decrease about 584,000.
I just want everybody to understand, when they say their property tax goes up, understand state aid has been dropping a lot.
Yep, so like I told Greg, I like to use the paint a picture of a glass. So if you look at a glass and the revenue limit authority says Mosinee can fill their glass to 23.4 million. And what makes up what's in that glass is your aid and your property taxes. So if one goes up, the other goes down. So I just stated that aid's projected to go down, which leaves the property taxes to go up about 641,000.
And Morgan, one thing, we don't control state aid.
Correct.
Right. What else? Projected mill rate of $6.02, that's based on a 2% property valuation. Shortly after this information was posted for Jackie to post for you guys, we received a valuation of 9.8%. So that means property values will go up, which in turn then the mill rate goes down. The final mill rate obviously won't be known until October, but that is some good news. What information don't we know? What are we gonna finalize between now and October? Property valuation just came in. We're gonna finalize summer school counts, September 3rd Friday count, vouchers and special needs voucher program, those numbers will come in. Equalization aid will come in, and open enroll in and out numbers will be finalized once the school year gets rolling and we work on that September 3rd Friday count. Also finalizing hires and what they'll be paid and what benefits they'll be taking, so there'll be some fluctuation in wages and benefits between now and then as well. Any initial questions?
Are we still doing for open enroll out, trying to find out why they're going out, as well as are we doing the ends to say, why are you choosing Mosinee? To try to get some feedback, maybe use as a promotional outlook on our Facebook page, or, this is why people are choosing Mosinee.
Sure. So being new to the district, I don't know the answer to that. I
Okay.
know that was always a conversation in my prior district. You wanna know,
Yeah.
why do they come and can we attract more and why do they leave? I don't know if anybody else has any, Greg, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I think you always look at the outs and try to predict why they are. I would say typically, when you look at the outs, and we have, I think what you really wanna focus in on are kids that you had before
Right.
that left.
Right.
Because you're gonna get some open enrollment out, our 4K kids who parents work in Schofield, they daycare in Schofield,
Yep.
parents are just gonna keep their kids in Rothschild, Schofield, Weston, Wausau, Stevens Point, take your pick. And I think the other factor you have to look at is with the transient nature of people, especially as boundary lines get blurred when you get around Cronenwetter area, that people may move across the, may move a street over, but they flip school districts, and then they wanna open and roll back to where they came from. So those are things you really can't control
Right.
in a lot of cases. What you really wanna focus in on, and we can start tracking that, is the kids that we had at one time that are leaving.
Right.
That's the ones you wanna focus in on. A lot of what we hear with people that are open enrolling into us are, they like it's a combination of two things. You hear some that say they want a little bit more offering opportunities for their kids, which is, why they're leaving some of the smaller schools around us. Then you also have some that want a more small school feel because they don't wanna send their kids to the big schools around us.
Right.
So it's kind of that finding that sweet spot. That's typically what I've heard. I don't know if you guys have heard anything differently in your travels, but that's typically what I hear.
And when they open enroll in and out during the window, they don't have to give a reason. But if they open enroll outside the window, then reasons are given.
Yep.
Well, you
I'd
also
say
know
that our
that-
open enrollment numbers stay roughly the same year after year, the last 5 years or something.
I would say, yeah, you're making me rack my brain here. I would say we used to be a loser in the open enrollment game.
5 years ago, we were
We were a
a
loser, and we
Yeah.
flipped that now to become a winner in the open enrollment game. So I say we flipped that in the last
Yeah, when I worked.
3 years, probably.
And that's something I could put together.
Let's just say
That's a-
post-COVID, since
That's
that
a chart
seems to
we
be a
used to
natural.
offer at my previous district, just so that people could see.
Yeah.
Well, you had a big year, you had a little
One big issue in our community is lack of daycare. Is a humongous issue. There's really not a lot of daycare in this community.
So,
One thing we talked about during our budget adjustments and things like that was layering in the 10-year plan for capital improvements. Now that the referendum's done, playground has been voted on, we've got a lot of things to check off, so, just working with admin to kind of rebuild that. Again, they can set their own priorities, but life changes those often enough.
Yeah.
But we also should have a say in where those priorities are and how we're setting that money aside in Fund 46 to put ourselves, we're in a good position now, I think we just need to make sure we stay there.
Any other questions or discussion? We are probably like almost 97% of the school districts. We have financial problems. And my own personal opinion is because of lack of state funding. That's my own personal opinion.
Well, correct, so when they decoupled the per member increase from inflation, that's where districts got hurt.
Got
So
crunched.
Districts are like $3,500 behind inflation. on
Since
per
2009.
member. Yeah,
Big time.
that's why you see such large numbers of
Mhm.
districts going in operation.
They just shifted the money to local taxpayers. And unfortunately, they usually call me then.
So how do we convince the public or the taxpayers that?
Educate people and talk to your legislative elected officials.
about the tax, I mean, Joe, I wish I had a better answer for you, but unfortunately, it's
Because
the world we
they're
live
gonna
in.
say it's because we spend too much money.
And I would tell them that our budget has gone down every year I've been here, I would say, obviously some parts of it have gone up, I mean, but we've reduced staffing since I've been here.
Well, that'd be great if we had that.
So, I mean, we have reduced staffing in my tenure here, we've reduced, in other areas. Now, obviously, when you look at it from an inflationary standpoint, the budget may have to go up, but, as wages and insurance goes up,
understand
I
it's
mean, that stuff.
complicated,
But, yeah, I mean, I would say that I think we've been fairly fiscally responsible. I think we've been fiscally responsible.
What
I can't speak before.
What I'm hearing from Joe is, and maybe other board members want it, but Joe would like probably 4 or 5 talking points that are written down that when somebody asks him, he's got information to be able to say, here's what's happening.
At least we as a school board are trying to keep spending in line. Give me some examples of that, so.
Well, also why things have increased. There's been no increase with inflation. Money has decreased. And how do you keep up? I think, what is it, 35% we've lost because of inflation?
Inflation is definitely.
But we haven't gotten state increases to match the inflation.
And so that's another piece of the puzzle, this coming year, they're not putting any more money into that aid pot. So all 420 districts are fighting over the same amount of
Oh.
money, and if one district gets significantly more,
And then-
obviously the domino effect is other districts.
And
get less.
that whole conversation is the legislature had a chance to fix that this spring,
Okay.
and they chose not to. I'm not blaming political parties here. I've had a conversation with all sides of this. The governor had an agreement with the party ahead in charge of the legislature, and unfortunately, education has become a very large political topic. And with it being a governor's race year, there was a lot of reluctance to do much with the budget surplus that our state is sitting on right now.
So what officials in the state government should we talk to?
Well, I would start with your local legislators. Now, they both were in support of it, but, I would start,
Brett Jacobson?
Brent and Corey.
Corey.
That would be a good place to start, but I think we're also in the middle of an election season. So, any of the challengers to them, I would ask them what their plans are.
And 2 more issues. Reimbursement for special ed has not met, it's going crazy, and vouchers. School vouchers take money away from public schools.
It's
And
the first draw on the aid formula.
That's right. And it's getting close to, it's billions of dollars.
Yeah, so for Mosinee alone, next year's estimate's $340,000. So
We're
that's
losing in
straight-
vouchers,
that's
correct?
straight to voucher.
I can put some, I can work with Morgan
Okay.
over the next couple weeks and put some stuff together.
Any more discussion? Any questions for Morgan? Thank you.
We need a motion.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I'll seek a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Kaiser,
Second.
second by Bowen. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 13, administrative reports. Before we do that, again, I want to thank Greg, all the administrators, Steve, everybody, for all the things you've done. Guys, I meet with them, you have no idea the extra things the building referendum has added to their plate. And the little problems that come up constantly. So they've been worked, they've been stressed, and we gotta make sure that we don't ask them to do certain things until probably like November 1st.
Yeah, no, the only thing I want to add on mine, a couple things. We started first year teacher in service today, this morning. Good crop of young, energetic educators. The last 2 days, we've had K-8 math training going on at the elementary school. So all those staffs have been involved in that. They finish up tomorrow. First year teacher in service finishes tomorrow as well. We have another day jam-packed with them. Spending some time in their classrooms in the afternoon. The morning is gonna be some tech stuff and then some business office, the fun stuff. And then I got a handful of things I wanna cover with them on safety, do a safety stuff with them. So that'll be tomorrow. And then next week on Monday morning, we start full staff in service. So if you're welcome to attend, breakfast starts at like 7:30. And then we'll go to the auditorium, we'll do tours and stuff, and then we'll go to the auditorium around 9 for the welcome back address. It'll be, the welcome back address will be in the auditorium, but the breakfast and kind of where we're gonna gather to start is gonna be in the high school commons, so enter by the Big M. This is the easiest way to look at it. And you can stay for breakfast and mingle, or you can go down and listen to my boring speech. It's entirely up to you. And the last thing I want to put on your radar again, it's been on your radar the last like 4 weeks. I want to put it on again, ribbon cutting, September 25th, 5:30 by the Big M. If it rains, we'll move it inside. If it doesn't rain, we'll keep it outside. Homecoming parade at 4:30, referendum ribbon cutting at 5:30, open house to follow, football game at 7. We're trying to tie it together with a really exciting homecoming and the
We're
homecoming.
playing the Wausau Slugger.
So so please put that on your calendars. Letters went out this week to all of our legislators, all of the town chairs, city mayors, village presidents, all the people that worked on it, from school perceptions to Bayard to
Even
everywhere.
the old
So
board members.
old
that
board
are gone
members
are
got invited,
And
so,
Can I
yep.
interject this? So we made 2 plaques. Of
No,
the
there's
old-
one.
Oh, we one, but it's got the old board
It's got the old
and the
board.
new board. So all the board members that were part of this referendum get total credit for
So there's,
passing
yeah, the
this.
board will have, the dedication plaque we just finalized, well, 2.5 hours ago, is gonna have the 9 current board members sitting on this table, and then it's gonna have Peter, Kevin, and Kelly underneath listed as former board members to recognize their impact as we got the referendum.
Yeah, they had a big part of this too. Just one quick comment, I don't know if anybody else has. Administrators, it's a new year. Remember, there were 3 things in our survey. It was about listening to people, it was about being transparent, and it was how you treat people if they feel valued. So, again, a new year, build new relationships, we have new buildings, new things. Build bridges, don't tear them down. So thank you for everything. Item 14, other reports, the WASB report.
Yeah, just the fall regional meeting that's coming up. I have the date on my calendar. September sometime.
Just let Jackie know.
Anyways, just let Jackie know.
September 29th.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that.
It's a Tuesday.
Item B, CISA report.
CISA 9, we had our annual meeting on August 3rd. We had election of new board members. The DC Everest board member changed, so that was the only change to the board members for this year. We actually got someone from Anigal to fill the board vacancy there. The Wisconsin Virtual School is celebrating 25 years. And so if anybody would like to look at this, there's some really interesting information on the Wisconsin Virtual School. And Jenny does a great job with that. She's the coordinator for the Wisconsin Virtual School. The annual report, I have extra copies. There's, Al put a lot of good information in here on what CESA is, where's the, yeah,
Okay.
what CESA is, the members, the administrators from all the districts, the 22 districts, I even got my picture. And the measure and our mission of the participation that CESA has within our communities. And the growth and the improvements, and I don't know it. We have someone that joined our board that's from CESA 6, and she said CESA 6 is nothing like this. Even though they've got their own entity of what they do, she said, this is just amazing. So I've got extra copies, anyone is willing to have them, and if you need more, I'll be going there in September, so.
Thank you, Don.
Yep.
Item 15, future agenda items. Do you want me to read these for you?
Oh, sorry, I was grabbing something for Jessica.
Okay.
School improvement plan, district improvement plan, annual meeting, and elementary school staff presentations are next month.
I didn't want to steal your thunder.
No, it's fine, it's fine. I saw a wrapper fly across the table and I had to grab it.
Did you catch it?
Yeah, I did.
Teacher took over.
All right. He's ready to go home.
The
Item
teacher
16, we're gonna move into closed executive session pursuing section 1985 reads, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of a public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction, exercises responsibility. We're gonna be discussing the